tip of despair. The spark became a fire. Now the fire's burning here. Together we will fall. The tip of despair.
Welcome, everybody, to the tip of the spear. How is everybody doing? Let's start out with baby-faced Gunny up there.
I'm good, man. It's been a busy month since our last show. It's going to be even busier before the next one. God, where am I at this weekend? Indiana for a balloon show, and then back in Indiana Friday for Purdue, Western North Carolina at App State on Saturday. Sunday, I jump in the car, drive to Nebraska for the state fair, and then I come home, and then, God, I'm everywhere. It's ridiculous. I think I'm in Missouri the week after that. And then the weekend after that, I'm out in New Jersey. So, yeah, super busy. It's that time of year. Football's getting ready to start here in the States. So, yeah, I'll be gone every weekend.
I know we're going to miss you. We're going to miss you on the home front. We'll see you, though. We'll catch you when you're available. Mr. John Cole, how are you, sir?
Doing good, brother. Man, it's been a busy month for me. Doing my day job, didn't have a lot of stuff to do. And then my youngest daughter just turned 13. So we had her birthday party a couple of weeks ago. And then our oldest daughter turns 18 next week. And so halfway in between those two, this past weekend, ended up going to the Luke Bryan concert for them, taking them to their very first concert ever.
Nice.
So, and then at the end of September, I'll be in Kansas City for work, for a work conference and stuff. So pretty busy coming up. And then our daughters they do cheerleading too. So that keeps us busy as well.
Oh, I bet. So when's your daughter's birthday? Because my youngest will be 18 on September 2nd.
Yeah, that's when my daughter turns 18 too.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Well, we know what we were doing at the same time. You know?
Why would you even think about that?
Because I'm a Marine. All right, Miss Pippa, how are you, dear?
I'm good. It's been a while. Apologies. I've just been a frequent flyer with the National Health Service here in the UK by breaking things and being cut open and other family stuff, really. So really getting my taxpayers' worth out of our health service. But other than that, good. Living life as it should be, I think. It's good to see you all.
How's the weather over there?
Well, as you know, we've had heat wave. It's been absolutely bizarre for us. I'm a lizard, so I really like warm weather, and I've been walking in like shorts and dresses all summer, which is abnormal for me. Normally I'm like in jumpers and jeans still. It's crazy, but it's been a bit of a struggle. We've had forest fires, I think, for the first time that I can remember. I'm 43. Don't remember forest fires ever happening. It's been a bit worrying, but I appreciate the heat, but not the price the country is paying for it.
I didn't appreciate it when I was over there. It was horrible. It was extremely horrid. I was like, this is not what it's supposed to be like in northern France and the Netherlands this time of year. This is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, all of Europe has struggled. It is, and I mean, it's gone up to like 40 plus. I don't know Fahrenheit, Celsius, 40 plus in sort of Portugal and Spain, which is like Afghan temperatures. You know, it is mental.
Like 110.
Yeah.
Right.
Y'all can keep that heat. Y'all can keep it. Beth and Jimmy, I'll get back to you guys here in just. Beth and Jimmy, I'll get back to you guys here in a minute because I want to. And then same with Susan. Mr. Tim Thomas, how are you, sir?
Yeah, great to be here. Great to see everyone's faces. When I was over in the UK working with Air Forces, they had to work hard just to drink on hot days because in Australia with all the heat, there's so much regulation around hydration and all that. And guys would just straight up die, you know, because you can get dehydrated and not even know about it. So it's a real thing. If you're not used to that and you don't drink, your body goes past this certain point where even if you put a bag in. So I'm just, you know, water for anyone working in those conditions. My week's been good. My men's group went to, have you guys heard of Ayers Rock in Australia? It's like one of the biggest red rocks we have, center of Australia. And we spent a week looking at this big red freaking rock.
Nice.
And yeah, my daughter. What's the minimum age in the US to get your driver's license?
15 in my
15.
15
Right, so that
16 for actual legal license.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unless you live on a
Don't
farm.
put that on me yet.
Live on a farm, you can drive at 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
pretty much.
Very true. Very true.
as soon as you can sit on your dad's knee and grab the hand wheel, you know. But yeah, in Australia, you go on your L's, your L plates, your learners, and you can drive as long as you got an adult in the vehicle. And now my daughter is on what in Australia call it the P plates, you know, or anecdotally called the psycho plates. So now, my daughter's borrowing my car. I've barely got it, and it's just another sort of observation. Watching her driving off at high speed with my car, like, okay, she's doing it.
Oh man, I hated those days when they started driving. Mr. Rich, how are you, sir?
Doing great. Getting used to getting waterboarded every day down here in Louisiana. It's beautiful. I'm on day 11 of 28 straight days of work right now. Doing that great Army training, learning new things, and learning how to break things. It's awesome.
Heck yeah, man. I hated Louisiana when I was there. Just for the week I was there, I was like, holy cow, this is hot. Send me back to Kentucky. But I guess I would rather Kentucky's dry heat than Louisiana's humid heat. Now granted, Kentucky gets humid, but not like Louisiana down there.
It's 100 degrees and probably 80% humidity today.
Oh, I bet as soon as you walk outside, you probably just lost your breath. As soon as you walked out the door,
Lose everything.
Hey, you'll lose weight while you're doing that.
I've lost some, yes.
All right, we got 3 newcomers to the show: a husband and wife duo, Marine Corps veteran Jimmy and his wife Beth. Welcome to the show.
Hi guys, how are you doing?
Howdy. Thank you.
So, do me a favor, introduce yourself real quick if you don't mind.
Okay, I guess I'll go first because I always do. My name is Beth. I'm also known as the Crayon Eater's wife on social media. We have our own show. It's called the Crayon Box Confessions. I got it right this time. I was on another show, and I keep saying that every time I go to introduce my show, which is not fun. But we also have our own organization. We just partnered with Wheels for Warriors, and we give veterans motorcycles for wind therapy.
Heck yeah. Nice. All right, Jimmy, introduce yourself, brother.
I'm Jimmy King, aka your one-legged brother.
He'd do the stump shake if he could.
Yeah. So like Beth said, we've got our own organization. We take in donated bikes, get them picked up, and then take them out, get them to vets and first responders that can use wind therapy. We've got our own podcast. Like you said, we have a tendency to want to revert back to saying the old show that we were voluntold to be from a host when we started guest hosting.
I know how that feels.
After 70 some episodes on it, we're only on episode 18 of ours, and almost daily or almost weekly when we go to introduce ourselves, we have to catch ourselves, stop ourselves from saying the old show's name. So,
right.
But other than that, great kids, and
we just had a daughter turn 15. So when you were saying the 13 and the 18, I was like, I can relate.
Yeah, our son will be 15 in December.
Yeah.
Jimmy, when did you serve in the Marine Corps?
97 to 06. It's easiest to say 9.5 years. It was actually like 9 years and 4 months to the day.
Okay.
But yeah, 97 to 06, I joined pre-war and was hitting Ramadi, Iraq back in 2004. Ended up losing my left leg to the injuries, but gained more out of it as far as it goes. Beth was a USO volunteer that I stalked for several months.
If y'all don't notice, I'm slipping cash underneath the table. I made him say that.
So you were in 97. So Gunny and I, we were in 97. So did you go to Paris Island or Hollywood?
Paris Island.
All right. 1st Battalion, 2nd Battalion, 3rd Battalion.
3rd Battalion, MRP, and 2nd Battalion.
Damn.
All right.
Yeah, I had officially, I woke up one morning and my foot started hurting. Officially, as far as any medical records go, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Unofficially, we only had 3 drill instructors, and one of them was a corporal. He was yelling at the kid across from me, snatched his footlocker up, chucked it up over his head, thinking it was going to come down the drill instructor's highway. It went farther back than he planned on and bounced off my foot and then landed on my foot. And when he asked why I didn't move, I just told him, "Sir, this recruit wasn't told to move." And he, kind of stormed off a little bit. But fun time.
Yeah, that's crazy. So what month did you go in?
My official date was July 28th, 97.
That was right after us, wasn't it?
Month and change, yeah.
Yeah. We were June.
We were already we were about halfway through.
Yeah. Holy cow. All right, cool beans. So we were on the island at the same time.
Yep. Oh, wow.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. All right, Miss Susan, you are up, dear. Welcome to the show. Do me a favor and introduce yourself to everybody.
Thank you so much. It's good to be here. So my name is Susan Yurkowitz, and I live in Erie, Pennsylvania. I was in the Navy for 4 years, from 89 to 93. I was an aircraft mechanic, and I was stationed in Rota, Spain first, and then in Point Mugu, California. I had it pretty easy there. I was in when Desert Storm started, so that was pretty interesting, because everything changed then, as you all know. But I have Harbor Lily Creative. It's a faith-based creative media company, and I have a podcast called Entrusted, where I interview people who are using their talents for good in the world.
Heck yeah. Well, welcome to the tip of the spear. Now, we talk about many times about our partnership with Cav Arts, Challenge America Cav Arts. We had a meeting with Susan today, which, John, you had a meeting with Megan not too long ago. Susan also is interested in becoming one of the hosts of the Cav Arts podcast that we were creating. So we're going to have a group meeting eventually here for too long to work out some details on that. So super excited, and welcome to the show again. All right, Miss Marie, you're late to the party, but you're here, dear.
I am. Hey guys, it's been a while. It's so good to see you've got Beth and Jimmy and Don and everybody else. Oh man, it's so good to see you guys. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. So yeah, for those who don't know, Marie Slider Henriksen, I am the co-host of Coffee Talk with Bryan and Marie. And I do recovery and veteran advocacy and connect resources and people. A few of the people in here, I kind of got introduced to each other, and I'm super excited that you guys are all together. That makes me so happy. So anyways, I'm glad to be here, and I'm out and about running errands, so I wanted to hop in and say hi.
Well, we're glad you're here. Yeah, we're glad you're here, my dear.
Thank you.
All right. So does anybody have any good military stories they want to start off with? Anybody?
Don't have a story, but 5 years ago today was Abbey Gate. So obviously want to remember the 13 service members that were killed during that incident in Afghanistan.
Good. You got their names pulled up?
I got them.
No.
Somebody does. Somebody's got them.
Old one. I got them.
I'll say Rich got it somewhere.
Y'all ready?
Yep, go for it. You're full screen.
Today, the Tots will remember the atrocity that happened on August 26, 2021. 13 American service members were killed while carrying out the failed evacuation mission at Abbey Gate in Kabul, Afghanistan. We'll say their names and say their names forever. Staff Sergeant Darren T. Hoover. Sergeant Johanny Rosario Pichardo. Sergeant Nicole L. G. Corporal Hunter Lopez, Corporal Deegan W. Page, Corporal Humberto A. Sanchez, Lance Corporal David L. Espinoza, Lance Corporal Jared M. Schmitz, Lance Corporal Riley J. McCullum, Lance Corporal Dylan R. Marola, Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nakoy, Hospital Corpsman Maxton M. W. Soviak, and Staff Sergeant Ryan C. Nouse. Till Valhalla, brothers and sisters.
Till Valhalla. Thank you for that, Rich. Thank you, Gunny.
You're welcome.
It's always good to remember our brothers and sisters after the fallen that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Because, Gunny, like you said, they died twice. They die when they die, and then they die when people stop saying their names. So, yeah, we have to remember them.
So based on that, I just want to do a shout out. The HomeFront SitRep just did an interview for a program called The Price of Freedom. If you guys haven't heard of them, check it out. Price of Freedom. They are working on recording the stories of the fallen, anybody who's fallen, who's worn a uniform and has fallen. So inside the military or outside, if it's military related, even suicides and stuff, their goal is to record their stories from the viewpoint of the people in their lives. So it's not just the family members, but those of us who were stationed with them and worked with them, and friends and family. And, it's super exciting. I'm grateful that HomeFront, that Willis was able to interview them. They are actually going to be recording the story of a friend of mine, a battle buddy that deployed with me, that was lost overseas, that Gunny here set up an honor jump for. So it's very beautiful what you guys are all doing, what's going on in the veteran community to be able to honor the fallen. So check out the Price of Freedom Foundation when you get a chance, and check out my interview that I did with them, and also the one that Willis just did.
And I interviewed Tom twice. My first year of the show, I had him 2021 and then 2024 as well. Great man, great organization.
Awesome.
Who did you have on? What was his name? Did you say
Tom Kilgannon? Yeah. Price of Freedom.
I had Dennis Schroep, Lieutenant Colonel.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. And their mission is something that we preach and talk about on multiple shows. We talk about it. We talk about it on HomeFront SitRep, that you got to honor and remember them, because if not, their memories are going to die. So I love what Price of Freedom Foundation is doing. So if you're out there and you want to help support their mission, and my mic's out of if you want to support their mission, go to their website and donate, volunteer. If you know somebody who paid the ultimate sacrifice or is a Green Star, and you want to have them remembered and honored, reach out to them too. There you go. Look at Tim Thomas there. Let me go full screen.
That's Eddie. He went through basic training with me. Like nothing different to the rest of you guys. He was godfather to my daughter, and I keep his picture up on my desk. He was killed in a training accident getting ready for Afghanistan. And that's, just a whole lot of stupid, but I don't know. I just noticed that it was always the best guys that got taken. Like the assholes that should have been shot, the assholes that I'd probably shoot, they're like cockroaches. They never die. But the guys that are freaking awesome, they're the ones that sort of get taken. And everyone said that this, Eddie was the best of all of us. So I keep his picture up on the desk, and always sort of keeps you the right kind of headspace to live your day in the kind of gratitude. You know, I do think we can make those people that have passed still smile. You know, if they were looking down on, if Eddie was looking down on my life, what would make him smile? You know, the things that I would be doing, would it make him smile if I was, you know, pissed off, angry, and looking at all the shitty things? Nah, man, he wants me to do all the things that, you know, bring that, you know, doing the things that we're supposed to be doing. I think love and death have a really potent way to anchor us on what's really important, you know, in our lives. It's like the last gift Eddie gave me was the pain of his passing, because his pain taught me what was really important, you know.
Yeah. All right, so I wish Travis was here so we could do a follow-up on the JJ Millett story. Rich, do you have any new information on the JJ Millett story?
Last I heard from them was that it was still stalled in the Vermont House there, Vermont legal systems, because no one wants to admit they were wrong, especially on the political side with this being election year, midterms and such. So no one wants to say they were wrong in what they did to him or what they were trying to do or are trying to do to him. So it's a testosterone kind of battle right now, measuring contest, who's going to win, who's going to lose. And so far it's looking more like JJ will be on the bad end of this, but hopefully bigger muscles come in.
Yeah, that's going to set a whole precedent if he does lose that battle there. You know, because that'll stop veterans from journaling. That's going to stop veterans from reaching out for help. That's just, I don't know if they realize the ball of wax that's going to roll downhill if he does wind up going to prison. And that's so sad, because I know my therapist was like, hey, you need to start journaling, writing down what you're feeling. I'm like, no, sir, I'm not going to, because no, not if they can use it against me.
Willis, can you just break down what's happening over there in that regard?
Yeah, sure. You want to run with it, Rich?
I could.
Go for it.
So JJ was going. He's going to his mental health appointments, and his doctor changed his medicine. Right. And medicine that he was put on gave him a pharmaceutically induced psychosis. And in that period, he had journaled all the things that were in his mind and such, just like this doctor told him, like Willis was saying. He called his friend, who is a police officer, to come get his guns. His friend came, took the guns, but his friend's partners came too. And when they seen the journal and the guns, and they put those two together, they arrested him for domestic terrorism based on his journaling. And he was locked away and had to fight from the cell, or his family had to fight for him to get out of there. And it took I did an op-ed with the VT Digger. We wrote all the congressmen and senators from that area, from the whole Northeast, really, to try to fight for him. And like I said earlier, it's in a stalemate now, because no one wants to say they were wrong, from the DA on up. They don't want to say they were wrong for doing what they did to try to purposely go after him.
It was a VA doctor, you're saying?
I'm not sure which doctor it was. I'm pretty sure it was VA, though.
Yeah, VA changed his meds. And he.
Which doctor was probably the right term?
Yes.
Yeah. And there's a lot more to the story. I know he called 988, asked for help. They are mandatory reporters, so they reported it. And he did wind up turning himself in without anything happening, right? But they found the journals and said, oh, well, the troopers, the people who arrested him, was going to let him go.
Yeah.
After they got him in help with the VA, you know, he got his medicine all squared away and stuff with a VA psych ward. I think he was in there for 72 hours in there. After being released, they rearrested him and charged him with domestic terrorism. And now they're using his journals and stuff against him, and all these veterans have spoke out, and the original prosecutor resigned from the case. and now there's a new prosecutor that's coming in, and they're going to continue trying to prosecute JJ. And it looks like if he gets convicted, it looks like if he gets convicted, it's going to be 10 to 20 years in prison for domestic terrorism.
Without doing anything, without any action. That is I haven't heard of this. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Last update, Vincent Aluzzi is the prosecutor, and his underling, whatever the local prosecutor, stepped aside when she realized it wasn't a good case to be on, I guess.
What state is this?
Vermont. Bernie Sanders.
I don't know anyone in Vermont. I was about to say I'm calling my friend.
I mean,
but
it's absolutely ridiculous because I recommend to people all the time that journaling is a way to get things out, so you're not bottling it up, but you're not like saying things to people in anger that you don't actually mean. It's a way for you to say it without saying it, so that you can get it out, as far as it goes, in a safe manner, and get down to what you actually feel versus the bad thoughts that cross your mind. It's a way to differentiate. So, and especially if his therapist or whatever, as far as it goes, are giving him these outlets or tools to use to do just that. Get the stuff out, get it out of your mind, so that you can distinguish thoughts from feelings as far as it goes. And then all of a sudden, not only are they using that against him, but I mean, the guy went and, called someone and said, "Hey, come take this stuff so that I don't go over the edge." He took all the proper steps, and now he's getting persecuted for it. That's Jack.
This is the same thing that we have issues with, like police officers who don't, feel comfortable going to therapist's office and talking about what's going on because they could lose their jobs. They could be, get in trouble. And I think why we have the issues we have. And when you see somebody who does everything that they're supposed to do, and I hate that the VA just throws medication at people. It's horrible. There's so many other ways, and that's why we believe in our saying is often there's therapy that happens outside of the therapist's office. That there's healing that can happen outside of a therapist's office because of the medication. People, not only write, but also, end up committing suicide because of all of the things that these medications put you in.
Yeah,
because that stuff is coming out. So the ability to journal gives someone a constructive and productive way to vent out all that shit. And if that shit stays inside of you, it's coming out anyway. But it's going to come out in a unproductive, probably destructive way.
Destructive way, exactly.
And so to have that gut punch for JJ, I can only hope that now that this is driven to the surface, we can actually have a way where people can have that sovereign boundary. Like if this is, in America, land of the free, to have some sort of sovereignness around your own ability to vent out, spew your thoughts out on paper and not have that used against you. Because even if, and Gunny and Willis is right, there are these paperwork people that once they see it a certain way, they don't want to be seen as wrong, and they will sacrifice the innocent before they be seen wrong in public. So we have to give people like that a bit of an out, a way to sort of, for them to go, oh, this is a more productive way to do it, as opposed to going, as opposed to opposing them and going, you're wrong, because then they'll just dig in a bit more. So I'm trying to think of a way where everyone can win from this, and we get a chance where the masses can not, that kind of stuff is like fear of what you think is like the terrorists have won. Forget about the bombs going off. There's stuff inside of you that's destroying you worse than that.
Yeah. The bad thing about this though is if he does get convicted, that leaves the door open for every other state
Right.
to go after veterans and use their journals against them. And that's what's crazy is this situation. And I'm hoping and praying that we as veterans can reach out and stand up for JJ and be like, hey, we're on his side. This is bull crap. And the bad thing is Vermont, there's not a lot of veterans in Vermont. There's not a lot of veteran service organizations in Vermont. So he's kind of up a creek without a paddle, and that's the bad thing. And that's why we're trying to get his story out there to the masses so people can start looking into it, start reaching out to, the Senate, the congressmen, everybody over there, the representatives, and say, hey, look, this is a tragedy, a travesty. So
please send that to us. I hadn't heard of this until now.
Rich has put it in the comments.
And we have a friend, the person who actually helped us get our organization started, is our state representative of North Carolina. Now I know he can't have it full, but maybe he knows somebody in Vermont that, if we share the story with him, that he can, at least maybe make a phone call. This is sad. This, like you said, leaves a blueprint for any other state and anybody else to pull up.
Right. And that's, and I'm hoping and praying that the case does get dropped is what I'm hoping and praying for. Because I wish Chris Elder was on here because he said that's a Fourth Amendment right violation. So, yeah. So anyway.
I just wanted to, I had something happen in 2007 where I went into the VA with an infection and they placed me in the VA hospital in an adjoining room with a gentleman, first of all, which was very strange. We had an adjoining bathroom and I was to be there overnight. And long story short, I contracted MRSA. And it was very strange, the whole situation. They lost my first swabs to show that I didn't have it when I came in and all this weird stuff. And I reached out to just a family friend who was a lawyer who contacted them. And his response to me, he was almost embarrassed. He's like, look, they barely sent me any of your medical records, which he requested, but sent him almost all of my mental health records. So basically like all of my counseling, which broke trust. I stopped going for several years, and I just don't understand how they expect, first of all, us to be able to encourage other veterans who are struggling, go to the VA, find help here. This is really disheartening. I thought maybe that was an isolated case, but obviously not.
No. Unfortunately, it's not an isolated case. Now, granted, he did call 988. And, like I said, they're mandatory reporters. So they have to report if anybody says, hey, I'm going to hurt somebody or somebody else.
Okay, that's fair.
So I don't know I didn't hear the conversation that he had with 988, but from what we hear is that he did make a threat to either bodily harm himself or others. And then afterwards, he talked to his buddy on the phone that's a trooper, turned himself in without any incident because he wanted help. And then the local prosecutors like, hey, we're charging you with domestic terrorism after they went to his apartment and went through and found his journals and all of that. So, it just sets a whole precedence if he does get convicted.
It really does. It's almost like it's a downhill slope because as we all, I'm sure, get phone calls before or people reach out to us, there's times I've had to call the police to do a welfare check because they're not answering their phone. And I would rather you be mad at me then have to go to your and speak at a eulogy or go to your funeral. But this precedent opens it up where not only are they mad at you, but now you've risked their freedom. Like, I don't mind if you need to go to the hospital, that's what the case is, but to actually have you charged or put to jail for something that's ridiculous, that we all know that the likelihood is he probably wouldn't have done these things because he was so proactive at asking for help. It's the people you don't hear from that usually end up doing something like, destructive like that.
Yeah. And there's no consequences for the mishandling of meds either from the VA, right? So there's the problem. There's nobody holding them accountable for putting you on multiple medications that interact with each other in an adverse way, or overdosing you with the medications that have an adverse reaction.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them do have like this suicidal ideation. The
warning for the
right. And I've seen so many veterans get medications that have that warning, have that label, that have PTSD, and that's probably the worst type of medication that you could give someone who's already struggling in that area.
Yeah, where is it? Trazodone, I think is what it's called.
Yeah, that's what somebody said. That's just one. Yeah,
yeah,
like
one of the
The residency there, Melissa, it's 32,000 to 40,000 veterans out of 650,000 total residents of Vermont. 9% of that 40,000 is our retiree veterans. So there's not a lot. This is the same amount of veterans that are right outside Fort Campbell. So there's about 35,000 outside Fort Campbell. There's 35,000 in the whole state of Vermont.
Wow.
Yeah, so they don't have a lot of veteran, and it's and that's in like the densely populated areas too. And then you got to think of all the rural country there in Vermont as well. Because I was talking with Therese. She's a daughter of a Vietnam vet, and she said that to get any help for her dad from where they live is 2 hours to the nearest VA hospital. And so they have to do a lot of outpatient community care. But even veteran service organizations, she said there's not anything. I think she said she has to go to the next state for the closest veteran service organization. So it's crazy.
Now, I have a question. In some states, not all states, but they have vet courts. Has anybody like tried to reach out to these people who run vet court, who are prosecutors, to maybe find out from them if there's anything that they can do? Like,
Well, I don't think they have vet court in.
Well, I know they don't have it there, but reaching out to Texas, I know has them.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe doing a mock-up letter for all of them and mailing them out. And it is run for a lot by and from a lot of veterans in the legal system. So getting them to cry out and maybe say something might have more of a pull than say the Crown Eater's wife.
Yeah, I think I don't know I know his family is there, and I wish Travis was here. He'd probably have a little bit more update because he's been in close contact with the sister, the aunt, and also JJ himself. Yes. Unfortunately, Travis had to he got called into work, so he wasn't able to make it. But
so the first link I put in there is all of Travis's interviews with the family and with all the people around JJ.
Okay.
And Vermont does not have a veterans treatment court, and if they did, based on research, because the charge is domestic terrorism, it doesn't fall under the veteran treatment court. That's a whole different realm of world. So they would just say, no, you don't qualify.
Yeah, that's what's crazy about it. So.
Yeah, there's a whole other reality when it comes to paperwork and classifications, and it just shows how much disassociation from reality. I mean, if these laws are written to actually help people, I feel like sometimes they've lost sight of that. And give the guy credit. Like, there's a psycho that doesn't say anything and just does it. Then there's a psycho's, well, someone who we've all had our days, right? But then they actually can catch himself. So, hey, there is something going on. I'm aware enough to see this. I need help. There's like, I know I'm saying what everyone's thinking here, but there's got to be some sort of due given to a guy who's having a bad day and catches himself, you know?
Yeah. Well, they should have never been able to use his journals against him.
Yeah.
That's the whole, you know.
It's not like he mailed it off to different news outlets or typed it up and published it on social media or somewhere else as a published manifesto or something like that, as far as that goes. And they caught him before he actually went out and did violence. It was his own private journal that he used in a therapeutic manner as instructed. And he voluntarily reached out to help through 988 and through calling his buddy who happened to be a trooper, saying, come get these guns or whatever, as far as that goes. So, I mean, all that should be taken into consideration. And I would, to an extent, agree with the Fourth Amendment thing as far as it goes. He was voluntarily giving up his guns. That I'm going to assume, if he was saying, come get these guns, they were all registered. So he was probably a law-abiding gun owner as far as it goes. So what was the point of them searching his place that caused them to read or find?
Because he made the threat.
Yes.
There was a threat made, whether it was on somebody else or his own life, but there was a threat made over the 988 call.
Yeah.
Does that open the legal right for them to search? Okay.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you make a threat to do bodily harm to yourself or others, and police are called, they do have a right to search. Even though he left his property and went to the police station, the trooper.
Yeah, he turned himself in. Like, they didn't come and get him from his house. He went to the police station himself.
It's just all kinds of wrong in every way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
So in July, the Judge Tebow loosened his pretrial release conditions. He was allowed to go home from the treatment facility. His conditions include a strict daily curfew, a brief 2-hour afternoon window for unsupervised grocery shopping or errands, and assigned adult monitors to oversee his movements outside those hours. And he's allowed to do that till he goes to court for the domestic terrorism charge.
So he's because he was living with the sister, so I'm assuming he's at home now.
It just says back home. That's all it says.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he still could be living with his sister. You know.
Well, I mean, he's got to have.
That's considered home versus incarcerated or hospitalized.
Yeah.
Wherever it is, that's considered home.
Well, you know, JJ could be watching this at one point, and, you know, brother, we don't know exactly what the future holds for you, but we want you to know that you don't have to do this alone. That's the one thing we can spare you, your ability to think you're going through this alone. So I would love to know a way we can get a message across. If you're watching this, this is one way, but man, I'd love to send him some positive energy, and, you know, even a few. I mean, my speciality is breath work, and that's the best way I know to down-regulate the nervous system and give you peace when you really need it.
Yeah.
So yeah, some line of comms where JJ knows he's not alone, because we can spare him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get Travis to pass on the word. Hopefully we can see if Travis can get JJ on here in the future and talk about this, because I think it'd be cool to hear his side of things from, you know, the horse's mouth directly. And then that way we have a better understanding. Now, granted, I don't want to talk to the prosecutor or anybody like that, but definitely get either JJ or his aunt or sister on here as well. So,
unfortunately,
I already know that the prosecutor is running for office, right? So they want to make a name for themselves. So that's their motivation. Is that it has nothing to do with right or wrong. It has to do with the political aspect of it.
Oh yeah.
And it won't be till
but
after
that prosecutor dropped it. This new one is the one running for office.
Her boss didn't drop it.
Okay.
He dropped it,
She resigned. She resigned because she didn't want the pressure of the political parties on her.
Yeah. And then her boss is like, no, we're not dropping it.
Yeah.
So I guess she was like an assistant district attorney or something of that nature.
I mean, he did the right thing. That's what he needs to know. He did the right thing. And I understand, like, he probably can't come on anywhere or really talk publicly. I mean, heck, his private words were used against him. You think he's going to trust that when it's on social media?
Yeah.
True.
And Beth, what you said there, that's regardless of what happens with the case, imagine before you even speak, you've got this thing thinking what I could say will be used in evidence against me.
Yeah.
Like you're already in prison. You forget about being behind bars. Like you can be behind bars and go, whatevs. But then to have that psychic structure wrapping around your neck like that, like fucking hell, man. Like the damage isn't just to JJ. Like Willis, when you said, well, I'm not going to journal anymore, that sort of stuck energy ends up turning into things like, I don't know, maybe cancer. There's so many things that if you don't get it out, it's still there and it's sort of destroying the system. So I'm just scratching my head where regardless of what happens, how do we then, live free without the fear of, and granted, law-abiding citizens, they're the ones that are thinking like this, not the fuckwits that are going to do damage. And the laws were probably written around fuckwits because, they wouldn't give an inch. And then people who's trying to do the right things, then they walk into this trap set for guys who would otherwise have, nefarious intentions.
Well, and the thing is, this hasn't garnered national attention here in the States either.
No.
That's what I was going to ask. What avenues are out there? Like what
to the Northeast, Vermont, New Hampshire,
Massachusetts, a little bit of Massachusetts.
That's it. Those three states. That's it. It's not gotten outside of that. No national media has picked this up.
I think that's what we can do is we can put your story out as much as we can on social media. Just send it out to, if family wants, if we want to make up a video, and send it out to different news organizations, and hope that somebody picks it up. Goes with it.
There's also studies that show that you only need 3% of the population to make a change. So like 3% of your population is what, like 10,000 people? Like if you can get 10,000 people in one place, that gets the attention as well. And if it happens to all be veterans, then it really hammers home the impact this has, both in terms of, your constitutional rights, but also your rights as full, you served, you made a promise with your country and they made a promise back to you. And this is breaking all of those rules. I think if it's just finding how to collate those people into one place, get the message out, as you say, but I don't think it has to be millions or even hundreds of thousands. Like, thousands of people could be the difference that you need. It's just getting those channels out to them and seeing if you can show up in mass in one place and having that critical mass of people to go, hey, this isn't right. And I know it blows my mind that like prosecutors get elected. That to me is a really foreign concept, American concept. But like they will bend to peer pressure as well. Like this is all optics for them. So you get the optics against them, they will drop it. But it is just getting those optics against it. Yeah. The other thing I had is, Tim, to your point about the body keeping trauma, there was a really good book called The Body Keeps the Score.
Oh, Bessel van der Kolk.
Yeah. And I think I recommend it to sort of anybody, no matter where you think you are, because the amount of, particularly military, because the amount of trauma that we carry, you just don't realize. And it does manifest itself. In different things. I mean, since I turned 40, I swear I'm just a walking like hospital nightmare where I keep getting everything wrong with me. That could just be me being telling you, well, I'm 43 now, so it could be like age. It could also be like trauma, though. You just don't know. But I think it's all of us even if you're on the periphery of this kind of situation, you have to consider well the trauma it's causing you all as well. You know, the fear of not being able to journal, the fear of saying the wrong thing in the wrong place at the wrong time. So there's another thing I think you can do, which is to support your communities with those who are feeling this fear and kind of going, look, guys, you've got to do what you need to do to be right by you. And we've got to, you know, fight that fear of doing what heals you in case someone, my God, thinks you're a terrorist, which is just absolutely outrageous.
What about because of the whole health program at the VA? I know that they recommend journaling. What if we, you know, what if you go from that angle of look, this is being recommended to the veterans in the VA. This is what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many, I mean, there are so many scientific practices that say that journaling is good for you. That physical action of writing, the mental offload that you get. I mean, like, it just makes me angry that someone does all the right things, and I'm sure it makes even you guys even more angry living in the US with this, and get penalized for doing the right things. And yet you'll have people who, like you say, who live in the shadows, who don't do any of the right things, but because they don't put themselves out there, they go on being horrible human beings. It's just, it's shocking.
Chris, are you there, brother? Welcome in.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I had quite an interesting day, and it's funny that you mentioned body keeps a score because I ended up in the ER today with chest pains.
Oh man.
And I just got out, so I'm kind of running around still, you know, got the farm, got the family to take care of, so I'm running around taking care of food and stuff. So but I wanted to hop on here because I haven't been on here with you guys for a little while, and I heard somebody's journals being used against them, and I mentioned that Fourth Amendment violation, unless they have some kind of warrant or something like that that specifies that. You know, I'm not no trial lawyer or anything like that. But,
well, I don't know if you're caught up on the situation, but a veteran in Vermont dialed 988, made threats against himself and others, turned himself in. They pushed domestic terrorism against this veteran. So they searched his apartment and found his journals, and they said that was his manifesto.
Yeah, I don't know enough details to really like weigh in, like I said, but to use somebody that turns themselves in by calling 988 and admit that they have a problem, and then, you know, hearing just, you know, the broad spectrum of that they use domestic terrorism against them. That's why I have a lot of problems with that. And especially when we are trying to get veterans to get better, and like hearing somebody just talking about journaling is important. And you know, it goes into the whole entire technology aspect. You know, your journal, if you're journaling on your computer and stuff like that, they have to be very specific on what they could actually search. So the fact that they found something and then use it against him after he turns himself in, just it makes me really upset as a veteran. Makes me even more upset as a veteran advocate. And then somebody that's potentially going to be a state representative, it's going to be something that I'm going to really be focusing in on, is because these laws should not be used to push veterans from getting help or going into the community and using these resources. In fact, we should be looking at cases like this and saying, okay, well, yeah, the guy had a problem, but was it handled correctly? And what's the real damage going to be if we continue to pursue down this avenue? So
I mean, I think it's also important to point out that he was having a bad reaction to his medication, and he still did the right thing. Still, even with that added on top of going through a PTSD episode, I mean, that takes a lot of courage and also, you know, a lot of fortitude of being able to acknowledge where you're at and call for help and ask for help. And it seems like he did every single thing right that he should have and could have done
Yep.
And to be sitting behind, well, I know he's out now, but to be arrested, to have that humiliation, because I know veterans and I know you guys are proud, and to be arrested, especially a terrorist charge, is humiliating.
Yeah.
I would say that this is something that should be maybe not being put out at the moment, but should be in the works for a promotional video or success story for both the VA and 988 and Vermont, whoever, as far as that goes, the troop when it comes to the troopers, not something that should be prosecuted. They should have.
It could have been a success
story.
story.
I'm saying they should have taken him in, maybe got him into an inpatient thing, got the meds 100% right, worked with him for some more therapy as far as that goes, got him back to his home and a stable situation once his meds were corrected and he was back to a good place. And you've got the ultimate success story. But instead of going that route, they're persecuting him for following orders.
Yeah.
And for the record, he never harmed anybody, correct?
Right.
Himself or anyone else.
Correct. He never harmed
he turned
anybody.
himself in, so nobody would even know about this if he didn't turn himself in.
Correct.
So why is this even being prosecuted? Why is this guy in front of a court system?
Dude, when the paperwork fuckwits get into the system, there's no reality goes out the window.
Yeah.
These guys come in saying they're going to make the world better for you, and it just gets freaking harder, man. But Chris, I don't want to step over something. Well done, you. Getting your chest pain sorted out and then still rocking up anyway, mate. How's it all going? Did you find out, was there something up with your ticker or?
My ticker's okay, but they still set me up for a cardiologist stress test. So that means I get to go run on a treadmill while they monitor me. I still have chest pain, but you know how it is. We still bear through it. But it's important that when I heard that, I couldn't just be quiet. I had to come on here and talk a little bit about that because it's already hard enough that veterans seeking help think that they're going to come out there to get them, and then when there's a system that does come and get them, us as veterans need to speak up against that. So yeah, man, I'm even though the ticker might be a rock, and I'm still out here trying to knock it out.
Yeah, no, man, I can still hear your heart is still connected to what's important, and you're feeling the pain of someone else, which is no small thing, and chest pain can be such a random symptom, but it certainly punches you to the front of the queue at the ER.
Yes, it does.
Gunny asked about a war story. For years, they were pumping, radioactive mush through my system to find out a problem with my heart. And they didn't find anything. What it turned up to be eventually is when East Timor kicked off in 2006. When they tell you, you're only going to be there for a few hours, don't pack any sleeping gear. Nah, like 100 days later, we're still sleeping in filth. And somehow some of this freaking filth got inside my pleural cavity. So, the space between your lungs, your lungs that expand and all that, and your I should know this, I'm into breath work, the diaphragm that pulls down in your actual lungs, there's a space in between. Somehow some bacteria had gotten in there, chewed a bunch of stuff up, died, left a bunch of scar tissue. So it just caused this chest pain because of the scarring of this bug that actually got inside the pleural cavity. So yeah, whenever I went to the ER, I'm like, yeah, chest pains, put me to the front, and it's a green ticket.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. The whole
it's one of the hardest things for me is it took my wife, pestering me all morning while she works at the ER and OR, and she's like, you should come in, and I'm like, nah, I'm good, and she's like, does it still hurt? Yeah. So my wife, she works there, so she comes in as I'm sitting there all hooked up listening to the doctor, and she's like, yeah, Chris won't tell you this, but X, Y, and Z and B, and And I'm like,
your wife ratted you
seriously.
out, bro.
She's like, pull up your record, and then she has me show it to them, and they're like, okay, yeah, and but I laugh because I'm on community care, and I get a new doctor every time I go in, every single time. So the consistency of care, even for TRICARE, the medical system is not the best. I think it's kind of like that even for the civilian counterparts out there, right? Our medical system is, at least where I'm at, it feels like it's under a lot of stress. People are moving out of our state. So it's a lot goes into that, but yeah, thank God I have a wife that pushes me to go take care of myself,
Oh, that's the ultimate I told you so.
Yeah.
You never listen.
Yeah, so if you're watching this now, listening to it later, Google JJ Millett out in Vermont. That's the veteran's
Man,
name.
it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen a whole lot of y'all. So thanks for having me on here.
You've been hiding on us, brother. But yeah, so Google JJ Millett, reach out to his congressman, his state representative, reach out to everybody that you can reach out to. And I agree with Jimmy and Beth, what they said, this should have been a success story. And it was there. Like the state troopers let him out after he got sent to the VA, and the VA was regulating his medicines. They're like, hey, we're not charging you. And then the state prosecutor, county attorney, whoever decided, oh, no, we're going to pursue charges. So it definitely is somebody who was trying to make a political statement, political advancement. Joseph J.J. Millett is his name.
There's somebody just not educated in the mental health field, along with making a name for themselves. But truly, obviously not educated.
One thing that I'd like to throw out there, if you don't mind, is for anybody who is watching or ends up watching this later on, as far as that goes. Yes, this is a messed up situation. Please do not let this situation with JJ stop you from reaching out to, whether it be 988 or to one of your friends. You don't even have to know me. Reach out to me. You can find me on Facebook, hit me up on Messenger. I will sit on the phone with you for as long as it takes to help you out as far as it goes. I don't mind. Don't let one bad situation like this stop you from reaching out if you feel like you're in crisis in one way, shape, or form as far as that goes. If you find yourself, at that point, reach out to somebody. Don't let this ruin your thoughts on doing something.
And 22 until there's none, they'll actually come out. They'll put your guns in safes for you, or lock. They'll put the locks on them, and then basically put the keys where you can't get to them for that period of time. And when you're in a better place, there are other options. Don't stop it from reaching out, because honestly, that is the strongest thing you can do.
Yeah. Man, it's like they watched the show before and they're trying to end the show early.
Yeah, they're all with that ending speech. I have nothing to say now.
Want to be someone stranger.
Everybody, make sure you guys don't add to the population, take away from the population, or drive drunk.
What were you going to say, Susan?
I was just going to ask if anybody had started a GoFundMe, because that could get passed around and garner national attention that way. I didn't know if anybody.
Not for sure if anybody has.
The first link I posted has all the things that have happened for him or with the family. So if you go on that link, the Hellfire one, I think it's called Hellish Fire.
Hellfish.
That one there, that has like the list of everything that they've been doing, and I think there's contacts on there as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I have a pre-written letter to Congress. If you send me your email, I'll send you that template to write your congressman with the letter for JJ. I sent it to as many as I could. I sent the op-ed to every newspaper I could. All the national ones right away said, no, we don't cover these stories because it doesn't give us the headlines. So they didn't want that. But the Vermont digger right there in his home, they grabbed it, and they've had me write another op-ed on something else since then.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Jimmy, you said you were in Ramadi. Who were you with there?
2-4.
Hell yeah, I was with you, man. I was with Big Red One, fighting right next to you with the magnificent bastards there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good deal. You over there in Junction City or?
Yeah, I was on Junction City. I was with the Brigade PSD.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal.
Small world.
It's a small, big world, I always say, when it comes to this Marine Corps.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, guys. It is about that time of night. It's 8:10. Does anybody have any other military story they want to share before we wrap it up?
I thought my bacteria in my pleural cavity probably killed it,
I was thinking something completely different. I was like, that is not what I thought he was talking about when he talked about the cavity. So I'm sign language in him.
All right. Well, for
can't talk about cavities around a bunch of veterans.
Right.
I'm not even a veteran, though. That's the problem.
Some of them may get excited.
But you are a Marine's wife, so you do know. All right. So for the ones that have never been here before, the way we end the show is I'm going to put you on the full screen and you just do a closing statement. So I'm going to start with people that have been here for a while and then work our way to the end to me. So let's go with my buddy, Rich LaMonica. You're first.
Oh, man. First at bat. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out tonight. Like we've talked about throughout this, like everyone has said, and we tell you on the Misfit Nation, put 3 names on a piece of paper in your mother-loving wallet. If you're feeling that darkness caving in on you, take out that little piece of paper. Phone those 3 people. It's better to call them and be with us tomorrow than not be there. Do not make a permanent solution to a temporary problem. We got you. See you next month.
Mr. John Cole.
Yeah, I kind of echo that same sentiment. If you're not alone out there, it's okay to not be okay, and it's okay to talk about it. Your vulnerability is a strength today. When we were taught in the military growing up that vulnerability is a weakness, no, it's definitely a strength, and don't forget that. And as always, be the light in someone's dark.
Miss Pippa.
Wonderful seeing everybody after so long. I think the thing for me to remember is the butterfly effect. So what one person does can have amazing outreach around the world. So don't feel that your efforts are wasted. If you can affect one more person, they can affect one more person. You have a change in society and change in where you are. So don't give up. Just be kind.
Mr. Tim Thomas.
I have really enjoyed hanging out with my veteran brothers and sisters, and I just want people. I can't get back all the years I lost to pharmaceuticals. They throw them at you like Tic Tacs. But what my life is sort of dedicated to now is helping people learn what I wish I knew, and that was when it comes to regulating your own body. I found breath work to be one of the best ways to do that. And if you're open to it right now, this has been a pretty intense session. Normally we're throwing shit at each other and joking, but we really drilled into something deep. And if people want to sort of take it on board and integrate it, I'm just going to lead you through one breath. Okay. And if you can do this, you can rock the rest of your night. I'm just going to invite everyone who can to breathe in, but then breathe in more. Hold it, and then just wriggle and stretch, stretch it out, shake it out like you're in bed in the morning, and then let it out with a nice big sigh. My gift to you guys. Enjoy.
Amen. Mr. Krista Elder.
I think I just felt my chest crack on that one. But hey, I want to make sure that everybody that's on here that has served or serves others that do serve, just remember, talking about the transition with other service members, helps them through their transition, and finding those organizations out there that can also help them will also help you out. So it's a very good way of doing things. So remember, you're not alone. I know that the cautionary tale of the story that we just talked about on here may make you not want to use lifelines like 988, but you really should use those lifelines if you need them. And, we are here to help you find those. And most of us on here will sit and talk with you. And usually sometimes that helps. Don't hold it in, don't let it fester, and keep taking care of yourself. All right.
Love it. Mr. Jimmy.
Put me on the spot here now.
I
Here's what was
know.
gonna
I
say.
think it's unfair that they make us
Um,
go last.
You're not last.
Okay. Let's do it.
So yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to people if you need to. As far as it goes, you want to reach out to me, reach out to me. I'm definitely one ear, but I got one good ear. I can still listen. Keep moving forward one step at a time, or if you're gonna have your teeth, and just keep hopping forward. Love you.
Awesome. Miss Beth.
I lost my brother to suicide, and that's kind of what fueled Jimmy and I's mission in the first place. And so it breaks my heart, when I find out somebody that we know or care about has taken their life and not reached out. Um, it's really hard. And one of the strongest things you'll ever do is picking up that phone. It is not a sign of weakness. It is actually probably, like I said, the strongest thing you can do. So reach out to somebody. Yeah.
All right. Miss Susan.
Well, first of all, I'm just so grateful to have found this little corner of the world and all of your huge hearts. I'm blown away. I'm grateful that you allowed me to be part of this. So thank you for that. And what's really hitting me is just the power of sharing. You mentioned about JJ, and it sparked an hour-long conversation and sparked different ideas of what could be done. And everybody can do something, whether it's to start sharing the story, reach out to Rich to get that pre-written letter that could be sent. There's always something that we can do, and it does start with just reaching out and letting people know. I really was not aware, and now I'm just I'm on fire to share this story and let other people know.
Amen. Well, I'm going to take over now. It's the end of the show. I just want to say thank you for everybody being here on the tip of the spear. I love when we can have a deep conversation with this many people. And the cool thing about the tip of the spear is if you can't make it one month, show up the next month. If you can't make it that month, make it the next month. So I want to thank our newcomers, Beth, Jimmy, and Miss Susan. Thank you guys for coming back. You guys are always welcome here at the tip of the spear. I'm going to end it with this right here. You are not alone. So don't let your dark days win. We've all said it right here on this show. Closing out. You're not alone. Don't reach out to somebody, whether it's 988, whether it's Chris, Susan, Rich, whoever. Reach out. And then remember, in the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You're not alone. The uniform may come off, but the bond remains. And together we heal. Together we rise. And together we carry each other forward. And the key word there is together. There was 13 people here tonight. We're all together. We're all here for you. Reach out, talk to somebody. And then hashtag be someone stranger. I'm going to leave it right here with these two right here. Be someone stranger. Look, I talk about this all the time on HomeFront SitRep. Be someone stranger. We as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. And I've said it, I don't know how many times. My wife didn't know a lot of my stuff until I started this podcast. And then she's like, oh, now I know that. Now I know this. Just from listening to the podcast. Not because I opened up and told her, but because I'm talking to complete strangers and telling them my story. So if you're out and about and you see somebody and it looks like they're having a bad day, go up to them and say, hey, how are you doing? And if they give you the red flags, I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. I'm living the dream. ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? And be ready for that conversation. It could be a 5-minute conversation. It could be an 8-hour conversation. You just have to be ready for it. And just listen. Don't try to fix them. Sometimes we just wanted to get it off of our brains, get it out of our hearts. So just listen. But like we always say, stay safe out there. We got your six.